Thank y'all for tuning in to another edition of Homage Speaks. Well, when homage is due, homage is paid. And we got to get right into it. Basketball is in full effect. It is time. Teams are starting to find their identities and they're making their way toward the playoff seedings and getting this thing under wraps. But one team I would like to start out with is the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I feel like last night they made a step in the positive direction. I'm sure most of us know, not all of us are in agreement, but most of us agree that Tristan Thompson is not the best basketball player in the world. Neither is Larry Nance Jr. But we all can agree that Larry Nance Jr. is a better basketball player than Tristan Thompson and can bring more to the Cleveland lineup once Kevin Love gets back. In my opinion, I like the lineup of George Hill, Ronnie Hood, LeBron James, Larry Nance Jr., and Kevin Love. The reason why I like this lineup because it gives you an opportunity to bring athleticism along with shooting, and you have players that can create shots for each other and themselves, and George Hill and Rodney Hood, so that LeBron James is not responsible for making every single play in order for them to get the job done. That's just my personal opinion. Rodney Hood is more of a slasher. Him shooting 3-pointers, he's one for his last 12. He don't need to be out there shooting like that. When Kevin Love comes out, he's the only one that need him, and George Hill and LeBron occasionally need to be taking 3-point shots. But what they need to be doing is moving the ball and sharing the ball, cutting, getting high percentage shots. I believe Larry Nance Jr. is a better player than Tristan Thompson simply because he can do more on the basketball floor than Tristan Thompson. As I engaged in debate earlier today with my main man Courtney, it's not the fact that Larry Nance can shoot these shots at a high percentage. It's just that he's going to be on the position of the floor where defense have to respect him in the aspect of that he can hit a shot from 15 feet, from 14 feet, from 12 feet. He can hit a shot from there, so that means that's going to create a better opportunity for spacing and movement for cutters. When Tristan Thompson's in the lineup, they throw the ball him at the high post. He's waiting on somebody to do a dribble handoff, or he doesn't know what to do with the basketball. We've been seeing him do this all season long. As Courtney put out there today, I'm glad he gave me this information because I did not know this, but we all know that Tristan Thompson is a great finisher at the rim. There's no mistake about that. But let's be clear. He's 69% from the field in front of the rim. That's dunking range. Let's be clear here. Larry Nance Jr. is 77% in dunking range. That man is a better basketball player. He's playing for a little bit more, and he's a better basketball player than Tristan Thompson. So going forward, you have a situation to where LeBron James is forced. He still has to be the ultimate scorer, but at the same time, everything as far as getting these guys shots and generating shots for this offense does not fully depend on his ability to create shots for others. That's going to help them going forward. I also think that this is a better defensive lineup that he can put on the floor. The Cleveland Cavaliers have no problem scoring. Their problem is defensively. And I believe that the Kevin Love and those guys can help defend better. As far as the other teams in the Eastern Conference, Toronto is starting to look for real. They are deep. They have a lot of depth. And DeMar DeRozan is leading that team. But we're going to see what they look like in the playoffs. The Boston Celtics, they still a favorite of mine because they got the young Kyrie Irving. They got the best coach in basketball, in my opinion, in the great Brad Stevens. So we got to get it going. Kyrie Irving is a bad boy. Cleveland is now starting to figure out his true value because a lot of due to his greatness and the chemistry that him and LeBron shared and K-Love shared, they was able to hide a lot of deficiencies of his teams in winning. But now when you're not able to do that, you see a lot of the similar flaws that Cleveland had already. But now it's just highlighted even more because Kyrie is not there in the third quarter to go on a 20-0 run by himself. So it's going to make an interesting playoffs down the line. No, make no mistake about it. But I do think that Cleveland made a step in the right direction by officially putting, even though it was due to injury, Larry Nance Jr. has to play. They're plus 53 when he's on the floor. They got to play Larry Nance Jr. He got to play. He's going to give you the energy. He's better on the glass. He's just a better player than Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson is an energy guy. He's a spot hit guy. It's up to Coach Lou to figure out the rotation because what he has one star, and then he has a Kevin Love, and then he has a whole bunch of spot hit guys. He needs to get his rotation down to where he can spot and hit these guys at the right time. Sometimes, in my opinion, Kyle Korver plays too long. JR, we all know he plays too long at times. He doesn't use Clarkson enough. He's not using Rodney Hood enough. He got to figure it out. That's on Coach Luke. But they're going to be fine. I think they're going to be fine. They're going to be able to do something in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Let's be clear that they're not going to be an easy out. But make no mistake about it. The Houston Rockets, they have made some tremendous changes to their roster and some tremendous changes to the team. Yes, we know James Harden chokes. Yes, we know Chris Paul doesn't have his best series in the playoffs either. But together, they complement each other well. Chris Paul is the person who is cutting down the turnovers for one James Harden, which has him looking more efficient. And then you have Chris Paul, who has a problem with realizing that he could have been a 25 and 12 point guard. Now he's playing with a guy who can score the ball at a more efficient rate than he has, so he can continue to play his facilitator role. They're deep. They got three small forwards. They picked up Joe Johnson. PJ Tucker was a great addition for them when they go small. But we all know the truth. They still got to beat the Warriors. And Golden State is starting to hit their stride. Houston is going to do everything they can to remain in first place. Hopefully they don't exert too much energy, because Golden State, they on cruise control. They're going to start playing good ball. They're going to cut back on the turnovers. They're going to have a little bit more attention to detail. And one thing they know how to do is finish the ball games. But make no mistake about it, Houston is playing some ball. And make no mistake about it either, Oklahoma City is going to be a tough team to get out of the playoffs. They're almost there. They just have to figure out how to not turn the ball over and not have Paul George disappear in the same game. Both of those cannot happen. Paul George disappears in some of the biggest games. He always is engaged defensively, but his offense comes and goes. Melo came ready to play tonight, but the Russ guard got to learn how to let the game come to him. Corey Brewer was a good addition, but they got to work that in some. They're going to get it together. It's going to take them some time, but they better get it together, and they better get it together quick, because the playoffs are right around the corner. But I also gotta check to y'all one more time, man. Me and my main man, Irvin Hawkins, hope he can tune in later on. But we were discussing what they was trying to do with the college game. I am one to believe that the college game does not develop the NBA players the way it used to, because the NBA game has changed. It is sped up. They play at a different place they play their own brand of basketball. We can go international, we can go play pickup, we go play AAU, we go play high school. That's around the same ball. But the NBA is totally different ball, and they're finna try to revamp the feeder systems so where they can get the younger players in earlier and get them acclimated to their style of play, get them the development faster in their style of play, so that when they finally hit the big leagues at the age of 19 or 20, they have no problem adjusting. But y'all know the truth. We've been talking about it the whole time. Cleveland Cavaliers don't play no D, so whoever they play against, they're in the game. I don't care who they play. Don't play no D. They can't lock up nothing. They can't stop a nosebleed. We probably can get with fresh perspective and all our group, and we can put 5 together, and we can give them a good game if we on our A game, just because they don't play no D. They supposed to beat us by 80. I guarantee you we'll lose by 30. Just because they don't play no D. That's 50 points that they're going to give us because they don't play no D. They're not a team that's committed to the defensive end like they were in the past. They were able to defend. Let's just be clear. With Kyrie Irving playing Olay defense, they still was able to defend certain teams. And now they can't stop anybody. It's still a layup drill whenever you want to go to the rim. Shout out to Larry Nance Jr., though, for correcting that DeAndre Drummond talk. I don't know what's going on with the Detroit Pistons ever since they got Blake Griffin. They won 4 straight, then straight downhill. But, you know, it is what it is. It's Blake Griffin. I ain't liked him since he stopped dunking on people. Just a regular guy to me now. But y'all know what time it is, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to this edition of Homage Speaks. Just know we got more basketball coming. I got another podcast coming. We got to talk about this NFL draft. There's some players that had some miraculous weekends, and then there was some that was just disappointing. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. For those who have not, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on SoundCloud at Fresh Perspective, PHRESH Perspective. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. God bless. A good night.